The unforgiving Bering Sea has claimed yet another captain from the Deadliest Catch crew. Jake Anderson has met the treacherous fate that all crab fishermen fear.
Nerve-wracking. Every set and every haul, there's just been something. It's just been tough.
Beneath the thrilling scenes, there's a deeper, somber reality. How many more lives will the sea take before we understand the true risk? Let us explore the shocking and heartbreaking stories that will reveal the true nature of the fishing industry. Crowded seas of Deadliest Catch. The folks working on Deadliest Catch might look like they're out there all by themselves in the huge ocean, but that's not really what's going on. The show might give off the vibe that they're all alone, but the truth is the ocean's actually bustling with loads of boats. There are so many boats out there, all packed into the same bit of the sea, and everyone's trying to grab as many crabs as they can to rake in some cash. It's a real competitive scene because there are tons of businesses trying to scoop up as many crabs as they can. You don't really see this intense rivalry play out on the Discovery Channel.
That was absolutely insane. An entire flock of birds hit my mast. Now, I've seen like a random sparrow hit something, but...
When you look at how Sig Hansen handles his life on Deadliest Catch, you see a guy who knows how to deal with being famous. He keeps a good grip on his personal and work life, which is quite a contrast to Josh Harris. Josh went after fame without thinking much about the consequences, and it landed him in some legal trouble. What we can learn from Sig is how important it is to manage how the world sees you, especially when you switch from being a regular Joe to someone everyone knows. Sig Hansen's dad, Sverre, and his granddad, Sigurd, left Norway and moved to America in 1958. They started catching opilio crabs, also known as snow crabs, in the Bering Sea, a place not many had fished before. Their pioneering spirit not only made it possible for them to fish throughout the year, but also opened doors for other fishermen, making the crabbing seasons profitable. Over the years, Deadliest Catch has expanded to show different crabbing seasons, like the regular king crab, the rarer Bertie crab, and the most treacherous, the opilio crab season. But the real challenge isn't just about catching crabs. The Discovery Channel sends 2 film crews to live on the ships with the fishermen for 5 whole weeks. These crews are stuck there, right in the thick of things, without any chance to step off and take a break.
I mean, the plan was to run these strings and then one more time through the gear. Hopefully that was going to do it. But we're just losing 4 or 5 hours on all this now.
Right there. Don't let me lose sight of that, dog. Okay? Yeah.
Unlike other reality shows where the crew can get some downtime, the Deadliest Catch teams film non-stop for 6 months. This means the film crews and fishermen have to get along well, sharing their space and dealing with the same daily grind. What's interesting is that the fishermen on Deadliest Catch don't face the usual limits on how much they can catch like others in their line of work do. Usually, fishermen have a set amount of fish or crabs they're allowed to catch, and not meeting these limits can mean making less money. But on Deadliest Catch, the main goal is getting good footage, not necessarily catching a ton of fish. The fish they do catch ends up being sold off cheaper, which can annoy other fishermen who depend on getting better prices in the market. But there's more to worry about. The supermoon often gets overlooked by those who aren't at sea much. However, captains who spend their lives on the water know just how much the moon can mess with the ocean's tides. During a supermoon, these effects get even stronger, with higher tides and rougher seas. Back in 2018, Jake Anderson talked about just how wild the sea got, and Wild Bill even admitted he was scared. Luckily, despite the fears, everyone got through the night without any trouble, showing just how unpredictable and tough their job can be. The warming of the waters near Alaska throws yet another wrench into things. As the waters get warmer, the crabs head to colder, deeper parts, which means the fishing boats have to follow them into more dangerous areas. These places are far from any help, which makes any emergency a lot more serious. While these changes are definitely affecting the show, the producers aren't really jumping into the bigger environmental debates. Just like the ocean hides its challenges, what happens behind the scenes raises questions that aren't easy to answer. How real is Deadliest Catch? And that's not the end of it. There's also some doubt about how real Deadliest Catch is. It's not like the typical documentaries where everything is caught on the fly. Sometimes Deadliest Catch needs to redo scenes to get them just right. While the most dangerous moments are captured as they happen, having to reshoot scenes for that perfect shot does make you wonder about how real everything is. There are even talks that some of the drama is set up beforehand, like in other reality shows, to keep viewers hooked. This staging makes people question the authenticity of what they're seeing, as it seems the show might be putting entertainment ahead of sticking to the facts. In the chilly waters of Alaska and the Aleutian Islands during the fall, the risky business of king crab fishing kicks off, featured prominently on the show Deadliest Catch. Despite facing the brutal sea conditions, this job surprisingly doesn't pay the local Alaskan fishermen much.
The weather turned from light to dark overnight, and it's miserable. Why?
The global demand for these crabs touches markets from Russia to beyond. Yet from the latest TV season, it's clear the locals are getting a raw deal. They earned less than $7,000 each, a stark contrast to the $1.3 million pocketed collectively by fishermen from outside Alaska. This pay gap highlights a significant disparity in earnings within the same demanding job. The financial backing from the state to the TV show's creators really highlights the strong support the government provides for such ventures. In the latest season, they gave around $691,000 in incentives. The folks behind the show spent close to $285,000 on transport and moving stuff around within the state, and another $231,000 went to food and places for the crew to stay. But even with all this spending and the state's help, the locals in Alaska only ended up making $44,000, whereas the people coming from other places took home a staggering $1.3 million. During that season, the state even boosted its financial support to $786,000. This all unfolds in a fishing industry that's really changed a lot since 2005 when they switched over to a catch share system. This new setup was supposed to make fishing safer and better organized. Before this, loads of boats would rush out during the brief winter seasons, all trying to scoop up as many crabs as possible from the Bering Sea. Now each boat has its own specific amount of crabs it can catch over a longer period, which helps keep things safer and tones down the wild rush that used to define the fishing scene. Since this big change, the danger levels have dropped a bit, with only one life lost compared to the much riskier old days. But the real challenge now is more about the money side of things. Despite the show making their jobs look exciting and high profile, the local fishermen still aren't seeing much financial benefit.
Right now, I feel like we got lucky and landed on them, or at least some really good spots right off the bat. And now we're getting a feel for what's going on. You can dial in, so it clicks that much faster.
The show pulls in viewers and profits, sure, but the local guys whose hard work and daily grind are on display still struggle to make a decent living. This situation really points to a bigger issue. Most of the money earned from portraying the tough lives of these Alaskan crab fishermen ends up going to folks outside the local area. These external stakeholders benefit while the actual fishermen who brave the dangers end up with little to show for it. As the series continues to showcase the harsh conditions and bold nature of crab fishing in Alaska, the real financial inequalities remain mostly out of sight for the viewers, masking the true story of those braving the icy winds and cold waters for minimal pay. Crab fishing in Alaska is notoriously dangerous, with the death rate being a shocking 80 times higher than the average job. Reports indicate that about one crab fisherman loses his life every week during the peak seasons. However, there's some good news as safety standards have improved thanks to changes in how the industry operates. Bill Prout, a seasoned crab fisherman from Kodiak, points to these improvements, particularly the option to choose safer times to fish, which has undoubtedly saved many lives. In the cold, rough waters, the real story isn't just about staying alive. It's about finding the balance between danger and safety. Safer seas in Alaska. Lance Fair, who comes from a long line of crab fishermen, also acknowledges these improvements, especially in how they handle sleep deprivation, which used to be a huge problem. He praises the Catch Share program for making the job safer. Cale Garcia, a veteran in the crabbing business, agrees. noting that the dangers of the job have been reduced so much that any remaining risks are mostly just played up for the TV show. He remarks on how crabbing in the Bering Sea has transitioned from one of the riskiest jobs to being relatively safer these days. The crab fishermen have also come together to form the Alaska Bering Sea Crabbers, an official group that advocates for the interests of crab fisheries across the Bering Sea and Aleutian Islands. This organization is crucial in promoting safety and sustainability, creating a safer work environment for its members through advocacy and shared safety standards. Deadliest Catch has become a globally recognized show, depicting the day-to-day lives of these brave crab fishermen. Interestingly, the show uses different voice actors for different regions to make the storytelling more relatable to international viewers. In the United States, Mike Rowe is the well-known voice of the series, while in the United Kingdom and Malaysia, viewers hear Bill Petrie and Nassar Balkan, respectively.
For my work, by a man who knows a lot about hard work, a man who needs no introduction, a man who's been on a bazillion TV shows.
This approach of using local voices makes the show more engaging and accessible to people all over the world, enhancing its overall appeal. Filming Deadliest Catch poses its own set of challenges. The filming equipment often gets damaged or destroyed by the tough sea conditions, like saltwater spray and strong winds. Every season, the production crew sifts through about 30,000 hours of footage to put together the gripping episodes that captivate audiences. Choosing the right clips to weave a compelling narrative takes a lot of effort and expertise from the camera crews and editors, demonstrating their commitment to portraying the harsh realities of the job. This portrayal of crab fishermen shines a light on their dual roles as both courageous adventurers tackling the treacherous seas and as workers benefiting from significantly improved working conditions. It highlights the advancements made in the industry as well as the ongoing challenges, offering viewers a genuine look into the lives of those who head into the frigid, unforgiving waters of the Bering Sea to earn their livelihood. In Deadliest Catch, it seems like each season needs a villain to spice things up. The producers at Discovery Channel seem to focus on creating a good versus evil narrative, even though all the fishermen are essentially after the same thing: crabs. This storytelling technique directs viewers to favor certain characters and dislike others, adding an extra layer of drama to the real challenges of crab fishing. The directors of the show deliberately handpick and craft the characters they want to come across as the bad guys. They don't just randomly select these individuals, they carefully shape them to fit the narrative they want to tell. For instance, at first, Captain Keith Colburn was cast as the villain, and later on, Elliot Neese took on the role of the main bad guy, even earning the title of Public Enemy #1 from the audience and the network alike. The tension doesn't just stay with the way characters are shown at sea. The Hillstrand brothers, who were once fan favorites, quickly found themselves off the show after a nasty legal fight with the Discovery Channel. This battle started after they made a pilot for a new show called Hill Stranded. The project initially seemed like it was going well, but things went south during the editing process, leading to a major fallout. When the network asked them to come back to do more voiceover work, things got even worse, leading to a lawsuit for $3 million, and resulting in the brothers and their buddy, Captain Sig Hansen, leaving the show. Elliot Neese's experience shows even more about the complex reality versus how things are portrayed on the show. Known for his aggressive attitude, Neese brought a lot of tension and drama over 5 seasons. His sudden exit in the 11th season.
Yeah, we got. Hope the guys aren't too traumatized, but yeah, we'll put everything back together, offload, and finish the season up here, I hope.
Left the viewers scratching their heads until it was revealed he was struggling with addiction and had checked into rehab. Neese's path through recovery and his repeated falls back into addiction highlight the tough times that can follow someone who finds fame through reality TV. Despite periods of being clean, he continued to struggle, ultimately leading to a 30-month prison sentence in 2022 for his role in a drug trafficking ring. When the filming ends, reality hits hard, showing how fame and the tough life at sea deeply affect those who face it. Fame's impact on fishermen viewers had mixed reactions to Neese's struggles after the show. While some felt sorry for him, others saw his ongoing legal issues as just another chapter in a downward spiral. His story is not just about his personal fight, but also paints a picture of how reality TV fame can impact a person's life. The plot lines on Deadliest Catch might make for exciting TV, but they also leave a lasting mark on the real lives of those shown as characters. This mix of drama on screen and real-life consequences gives a raw look at the challenges and often grim realities that come with mixing life and entertainment. Deadliest Catch unveils a tough truth behind the thrilling scenes of fighting the ocean. At its core, it exposes the hard lives of fishermen and also digs into the personal tragedies that touch its cast members. For instance, the show's director, Joseph McMahon, was tragically eliminated outside his home in an incident that left many questions unanswered. He was checking out a strange noise when he was suddenly shot, and the shooter then passed away, leaving a wake of sadness and confusion. Another sad chapter involves Nick McGlashan, who was known for his role on the Summer Bay vessel and appeared in 78 episodes. McGlashan started his fishing career at just 13 in the demanding Bering Sea. His skills in fishing didn't save him from his battles with addiction, which tragically ended with him overdosing in a hotel room in Nashville at the young age of 33. His death was a shock to his family and fans.
Some ice heavy.
What'd you do? This ice just came and smashed him right in the face.
How bad is it?
You got a bloody nose.
Yeah, that was a big chunk of ice that got you, dude.
With Captain Bill and McGlashan's sister Lydia sharing heartfelt tributes expressing their deep sorrow over his loss. Adding to the series of heartbreaks, Nisei, another well-known figure from the show, is tangled in a legal mess that could put him behind bars for up to 40 years. Despite this looming threat, there's still a sliver of hope for his future, though he has kept quiet about his situation on social media. The series doesn't just highlight the physical dangers like fierce storms or treacherous seas. It also shows the mental and emotional tolls the crew faces, often leading to deep personal struggles. These aren't just stories of battling nature, but also fights against personal demons and sudden, tragic events that forever change lives. Beyond the noise of the ocean, personal battles continue. Contrary to the risky life depicted on television, the process of getting a fishing license seems surprisingly easy, suggesting that not everyone who heads out to sea is well prepared. This lack of preparation can be just as dangerous as the direct threats from the ocean. The ease of getting a license doesn't reflect the real dangers and skills needed to navigate these perilous waters, highlighting a dangerous gap between what people expect and the reality. Becoming a fisherman in Alaska appears simple. Pay $200 for a license and you're in. But if you found yourself in a dangerous situation at sea, wouldn't you prefer to have someone experienced and skilled by your side? While the initial cost is low, the real value should come from proper training and experience. Sig Hansen, well known from the Discovery Channel's Deadliest Catch, embodies the tough life of an Alaskan fisherman. His adventures at sea make compelling viewing, but his health issues reveal a starker truth. Recently, Hansen shared at the beginning of the 15th season that he had suffered what he described as a minor heart attack.
By the way, suffered a heart attack at sea earlier this month.
And along with him,
Something his crew didn't know about. This wasn't his first. He had another heart attack on air in 2016 while on the Northwestern. In a chat with Entertainment Weekly, Hansen explained that a minor sinus infection and the antibiotics he was taking led to severe complications. While driving in Seattle with his wife, his condition quickly worsened, forcing an emergency trip to the hospital. At the hospital, a nurse gave him an EpiPen, hoping to help with his symptoms. Instead, it triggered severe chest pain, and further tests confirmed he was having a heart attack. Is the relentless danger of the Bering Sea just part of the job for these brave fishermen? Or is it a sign that the risks are becoming too great to bear? What do you think? Are we pushing the limits of human endurance? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.